I'm Peyton, and this is Jared. This is Kidtalk.
Kidtalk is where we interview people who make games, design games,
And pretty much anyone who likes games.
Yeah, and today we're interviewing Lea and Lori with People for Goldfish.
Hi.
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 So, my first question is, why did you decide to make Word Hustle?
That is a long story. So you've opened up a big can of worms there, Jared. So thank you. We decided to make Word Hustle because we were looking for gameplay actually for a toy that we're designing to roll out next after Word Hustle. And I had suggested a word game, and Lori and I had a little bit of back and forth on that. We're best friends, opposite personalities. And we had to work through that one because Lori initially did not like word games, although she is like a true word game lover now after developing one for all these months. And I have loved word games my entire life. And so once we settled on it and realized that we had a good idea going, we decided to go forward with Word Hustle. Lori, do you want to expand on that?
Yeah, and we've been making games for a long time. Lea and I have known each other from almost when we were your guys' age, so that's a long time ago. And we made a game once, a scavenger hunt for all of our friends when we were young. It was a midnight scavenger hunt, and everybody was able to drive at that time, so they were a little bit older than you guys are. And we had so much fun doing that. And we made games from then on out when we became friends until now. And so we had this chance to make a new game. And we were designing one that wasn't a word game. Lea suggested a word game, and we switched over to that when we saw that that was a good idea.
Can you tell us the other games that you designed other than that?
Yeah, so the other game is called Bungee. And it's not really ready yet, but it's kind of like a sporty game where you throw coins. And so it's very different than the word game that we made where you roll dice and you build words. So we have those two games, and we were developing them at the same time. And that helped us a lot because we were able to go back and forth from one to the other when we were designing our game. In case we got stuck on something, we would switch to the other game. And that helped us because sometimes you get stuck when you're designing, right? You guys are designing games? Yeah?
Yeah.
And do you get stuck sometimes on like how to do something in your game or which way you want players to do things?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so when that happened to us, we would switch back and forth from Bungee to Word Hustle, Bungee to Word Hustle. And that was really, really helpful. So we didn't always feel like we couldn't make any progress on our games. There was always something we could do. So
yeah. When I didn't know what to do for my game Swordsman, I started on another game.
Oh, smart.
Very smart.
Did you come up with that idea on your own to start on another game?
Mm-hmm.
See, that's really a good idea. You always keep your creativity going, so you never stop. And then sometimes your new game makes good ideas for the other game, right? And then you end up having better ideas for both games.
When I get stuck, my creativity goes up more so that I don't get stuck anymore.
I love
But
that.
can I tell
You're
you,
very lucky.
Can I tell you what my game is called?
Yes.
I have Swordsman, and then my new game I'm making, it's a space game. It's called the Astrone.
Oh, cool.
Astrone?
Mm-hmm. And then its expansion is called Planetary.
That's
Cool.
amazing
You have an
that you
expansion?
already have an expansion.
That's
I have
awesome.
an expansion for Swordsman too. Spears.
Wow.
I can't wait to see those games. So where in space does your space game happen?
What?
Is there a place in space that your space game happens? Like, is there a universe, or is it in our universe? Or
I
is it
don't
in
know.
Not yet.
I started like 5 days ago and haven't worked on it since.
Well, but
Wow, you started it 5 days ago and have an expansion already. That's pretty amazing and very
Well,
impressive.
I don't know when I started.
Oh, well, still, the names are cool. And it took us more than like 3 months to name our games. So in only a few days, you have 2 really awesome names. That's a cool thing. Yeah.
My game, can I tell you my game?
Yeah, I was going to ask you.
Yeah, of course.
My game is called Mythology Wars. It's like you're a bunch of demigods, which are like sons and daughters of gods, and you're trying to stop the monsters from attacking your camp.
That sounds awesome. You must like Percy Jackson books. Do you
Yes.
read those?
Rick and
Oh
Morty
yeah.
books are my favorite.
He
Oh really?
those books. He's already read all of them about twice.
You sound like somebody I know who's just a little bit older than you. My son Austin, he's 13, and he loves those books too. And he wants to go to Greece really badly because of those books. Do you also want to go to Greece, Jared?
I think I might be able to go to Greece in my game.
That would be a good idea. That's one of the best parts about games, right? We can be whoever we want and we can go wherever we want. So your demigods, they have superpowers?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they have powers that you can use a specific number of times, and whenever you use the power for the first time, you summon the gods.
Oh, cool. And so are they more powerful when the gods come?
On the last one, for specific gods, they can get stronger the more you use the power.
I like that idea.
But then you
save that idea.
You don't use the power too much, because then you're gonna not be able to use it again.
Oh, so it's a limited resource. That's smart.
You
That's
didn't
really
tell me if after you summon the god and use it 3 times, you didn't tell me if can other people use it after you use it 3 times or no?
There's only one god that could do it. Hera is the queen of the gods, and I decided since she's the queen, she could use the power.
No.
That's a good idea.
After you've used the god 3 times, can someone else get that same god or no?
No one has the gods. The gods are like other people then.
Okay, so after you use it once, someone else can get it. Like, after you summon it, everyone else has a chance to do it, unless...
No.
Only if there's 3 players.
No.
You know who you guys sound like? You sound like Lea and I. I would say, Lea, I have a great idea for a game. Listen to this. What about this part? This is going to solve everything. It's going to be the most fun part. And I'd throw it at Lea like a ball, and she'd go to catch it, and she'd be like, I don't understand this ball. Like, this makes no sense. And you
have to repeat that to me.
Again.
I don't understand.
Yeah. And so we would go back and forth. And that's how our ideas got better, actually, because when we had to explain it to each other, we had to make it sort of a nicer, cleaner idea that was easier for a lot of different types of people to understand. So it was really helpful to have a co-designer when we had started all of our games at the same time and we're designing those. And you guys have each other, which is nice. Have you play tested each other's games yet?
We've play tested Peyton's game, but mine isn't ready for play testing just yet.
Oh, okay.
Mine is probably going to be like a 1-hour game.
Oh,
we haven't even played a full game of it yet.
No, you just tested part of it?
Mm-hmm.
Until when? I don't remember when we stopped.
I think we stopped about like 15 minutes after we started.
No, like at the 5th round.
What made you stop?
We had other things we needed to do.
Lunch, food.
Yeah.
We break for food, right?
Other things.
What did you guys make it so your game company was called People for Goldfish? Is it the animal or the food?
Well, it's kind of both. Lori's going to tell you a story because there's a reason that it's called People for Goldfish. And Lori and I find it very, very funny, but we're always interested to see if anybody else understands our humor. So we're going to test it out on you right now.
So one time I was reading something and I was reading about a joke that somebody said that there were goldfish shaped crackers for people. Do you know goldfish crackers?
Mm-hmm.
Have you had those yeah. And so there were goldfish. Oh, you haven't had them. So they're cute little orange.
I'm gluten-free.
Oh, that's right.
I've seen them, but I'm gluten-free and the only ones I know are good.
We're going to have to hunt.
Free also, Peyton.
We'll have to see if we can find some that are gluten-free so you could try them. But
Yeah.
so we thought about that cracker and thought it was pretty silly that there were goldfish-shaped crackers for people, and that maybe we could do something silly and make people-shaped flakes for goldfish. So we actually got some goldfish food and a teeny tiny hole puncher that made shapes of people, and we punched out little flakes that were the shape of people for goldfish, and that was the name of our company. It kind of makes us think about looking at everyday things. Like goldfish flakes are normal things every day. You don't think much about them, right? But when you look at them and you think about them differently, then it helps you create new and better ideas. So we were thinking that the name would remind us to think about everyday things that we see in a little bit of a different way. So People for Goldfish is really people-shaped flakes for goldfish.
And it would be weird if a goldfish was eating a goldfish cracker.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
goldfish for goldfish.
Don't want to encourage cannibalism.
Silly. Goldfish don't want to eat goldfish. That's good.
Well, maybe if you had a goldfish-shaped fish food.
Yeah, that would be good. That we would like that. We tried to make some. Yeah. Do you think that they'll know that they're eating people-shaped flakes? The goldfish?
Probably not.
No, I don't think so either.
They're
But
probably
we'll
gonna be
know.
like, what's this weird thing that we dropped in the water?
I think they'll swim
We
around
like to imagine they know, though.
Yeah.
What was the hardest part about making Word Hustle?
I think we're still in the hardest part about making Word Hustle, and it's making a rule book that is
Understandable?
understandable, and also not super duper long where nobody wants to read it past the first couple of pages. Because I mean, you guys have played Word Hustle, so we think once you play Word Hustle, it's pretty easy to understand the rules and play it again and again. But when you're writing the rules for players, first-time players, you want to make sure that you cover all the bases so that they fully understand the game. And it's difficult. It's really difficult.
Well,
Have you
we
guys
actually have taught it.
Yeah,
You
Have
taught Word Hustle?
Mhm.
Yeah, you have, because you did it in the video.
that's right.
But I'm worried. I'm trying to type out the rules for my game right now, and I'm worried that I'm worried I'll either make it so that I'm not able to understand it, or if someone wants to make a video to teach it, they'd have to quote the rules. Because we're teaching games, and I'm basically making lines for how to teach it without.
Right.
Like
Oh,
it
you're
sounds
writing the
like,
script. Are you writing the script?
No.
No.
Oh,
He's writing the rules, but it would be like put the board in the middle of the table where everyone can reach it.
So setup. Yeah.
The setup is like
The
How-
setup's pretty simple.
the setup is if we were teaching it, we could probably just use his rules as the script. Because actually, everything when he reads it, it sounds like what we would say.
that's good.
Yeah, that's good. It's very relatable then.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Were there any things that you disagreed on when you were making Word Hustle?
Uh,
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh, Jared, but when you work with another person, there's always going to be disagreements.
yeah, one of the things we disagreed on was how long the game should be. Remember that, Leah?
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
so Leah really wanted it to be 9 rounds. Yes.
Well, actually, in my defense, I really, really, really wanted 6 rounds, but I had played with somebody who loved the 9 rounds, and I was like, maybe we could get to 9 rounds. And Lori was like, slow your roll. No.
Do you remember how many rounds it is?
3.
So it ended up going in my direction that time, but it went in Leah's direction for the word game itself, right? I wasn't going to make the word game
I guess
at first.
it would be 9 take away 6 equals 3.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Very good.
It's like if you put it into a math problem, it would kind of be like you could just tell the future.
Yeah. If we did that, we would have predicted it, right? The 3 rounds, but we didn't do it
Unless
that
you
way.
did it, well, if you did it backwards, either way, it would be the same.
True.
I wish we had the ability to tell the future during game design. It would make the process so much easier. Right.
It could also tell you what people would like about your game when you were playtesting it, and then
Right.
you could just be like, okay, someone would like this in the game and take this out of the game.
Like, you.
So
Yeah.
my son always asks me, what superhero would you want to have? Not superhero, excuse me. What superpower would you want to have if you could have any? And from now on, I'm definitely going to say seeing into the future, because that would help me tremendously as a game designer.
Well, you said
What superpower would you want?
You said superhero, and my favorite superhero is Spider-Man.
Ah,
And then when you said that, that made me want to make my superpower shooting different types of webs.
yeah, absolutely.
My favorite is Iron Man because he has all the tech,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and in our video game he can make explosions.
So that's awesome. Do you know what my kids ask me every week? They
What?
ask me to list the order of the Avengers from the most powerful to the least powerful. And it's like a quiz. I have to get it right. But they have different answers to this question. So do you guys have an opinion? What's the most powerful Avenger?
Spider-Man.
He's not the most powerful.
Yes,
I'd
he
say
is.
Iron Man.
See? Nobody.
Everyone has a different
Iron
opinion.
Man
That's
because
the beauty of it.
Iron Man because he did he got all the crystals from Thanos
Mhm.
and did the thing.
Mhm. Stop the blip or something, right? Yeah. I don't know. I always say Thor, and they always roll their eyes and say that I'm wrong. And then one of them always says, my oldest always says that it's Captain Marvel, and then my other son likes to fluctuate between Hulk and Iron Man. So I never know what the right answer is. I think that there's many answers, right? There can be many different leaders at different times.
It would probably be first. It would probably be Hulk.
Hulk. Yeah.
Hulk is the strongest, but not the most powerful.
Well, it's kind of not. He's the most powerful, but he doesn't really do what he's told.
Mhm.
Not all the time.
Cause more what he's like. Okay, I forgot it. And
He
I'll
always assumes that what he's being told is Hulk smash.
Uh-huh. You know who feels like that? Sometimes I feel that way. I'm like, oh, I feel powerful, and then I forgot what made me powerful. So sometimes that happens. That's funny. So I was thinking of a question, and actually Lea and I haven't talked about this at all, but I was wondering if you might have a guess, how many inventions and inventors had to create things in order for us to make Word Hustle? So how many things had to happen, right, in order for us to be able to make the Word Hustle game? Do you have any?
7?
Well, I think it's very many. So there were the games that came before us, right? Like Scrabble, they used letter tiles, and we used that idea. So the person who made that game. But then you can start thinking about all the things that had to happen, like language.
What's
right?
the first game with dice?
I don't know, but I tried to find out that. So I looked on Wikipedia online, and I tried to figure that out, but it's hard. Sometimes it goes so far back that you don't know the first game is that used it. What do you think? So
now
I
I'm
like to
thinking
think-
maybe 100.
I don't know. Well, let's think
For the
about other
answer
things.
to your question.
So part of our game is made with plastic, right? But I like to remember all the inventors that came before Lea and I, right? Because without them, we wouldn't be able to make games. And, you know, when we made Word Hustle, there was a part of it that we made that we hope will help other people make games. So people made things that helped us make a game. And now we made something in Word Hustle that we think maybe people can use to make new games that for themselves. So it's kind of like this chain reaction, right? One person helps another person helps another person, and the games get better and better. The part of Word Hustle that we made that we hope other people will use in new games is how to score a crossword grid by itself. So there, without having numbers on your letter tiles. I think that some people have already started to take that part and make new games with it. that we didn't even think of. So it's like a little word hustle sister or brother, right? It's almost related to our game, but not exactly the same. And that's a really cool thing to see happening, because we were so happy to use the things that people helped us to do, you know, all the inventions and the progress that humankind made. And now we're helping word games a little bit with ours. Have you guys ever seen Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, the movie?
Yes.
Do you
It's
know
a
the part
really
where
good movie.
I love it? I love it. We just watched it here in my house with my boys, but there, you know, the part with Veruca Salt and she goes in and she wants a golden egg. Do you remember? She's doing her song that she wants a party and she wants one of the golden goose.
Says, I want it now, Daddy.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. So remember, there's that little scale that judges if an egg is good or an egg is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's a bad egg, it goes down the chute into the trash. So that's what Lea did for me with all my game ideas. I would show her an egg that was like sort of for the game, and Lea would be like, bad, flush. Or she would say, good, keep. And then we would go back and forth for our game ideas. And so that's always part of the process too. We help each other that way. And I wasn't upset because I needed that help, right? We had to talk about
And
what was going to be the best thing for the game.
but then after, didn't she jump down the hole with the good eggs?
Oh, yeah.
No.
Oh, wait. She went down with the bad egg.
She falls
Veruca.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
Because Veruca's a bad egg. So
She wanted
You
a
could
lot.
also make a game called Word Eggs.
Oh,
that's a good idea.
Like
yeah.
your
that-
prayer mats is like a chicken that lays eggs with
Letters.
Maybe it would be like
the
you
tiles are like the tiles are eggs with words on them.
or you have like your own chickens, and whenever you make a word, you put it behind an egg, and people have to crack the egg and find the word.
Ooh.
So good.
Yeah. Kids
Or like
are my
find out
favorite
what the
place.
word is, and if it's right, then they crack the egg and get the egg.
And
And they can make
it
more
has-
words.
And it has to be the start. It has to be like there's little things and like you have words behind eggs,
Yeah.
and
love it.
the eggs have the letters, and it has to be a letter in the word to put it on.
I'm thinking maybe you have like 3 eggs at the beginning, and then whenever you find someone's word behind an egg, you get the egg and you get to make another word.
But this is making me wonder, talking so much about words. What does every single letter what
Letter
letter
of the
spell?
alphabet.
I wonder.
Oh, like if you
Um,
tried to make a word with 112 of the tiles in our game. So that's actually
There's
funny you bring that
112
up,
tiles.
Yeah, we have
Mhm.
112 tiles in the game.
Yeah.
It's very funny that you bring that up because
That's gonna
Lori,
make a lot of eyes.
Lori taught me, and I never knew this, that there is a word. Is it 26 letters, Lori?
It's really long. I think it's 26
It's really
letters.
long. I don't even know that I could say it. We found some YouTube videos where people try to say it, but it's in our video on the Kickstarter for the game, and it's something to the effect of honorificabilitatudinibus. I
That's
think
almost
that's
it. That's
pretty
almost
close,
it.
right?
Oh, I have a good question. What do you
Do you
think
know
that
what
word
it
means?
means?
Oh, that's what I was gonna.
Oh!
Good question. Good question. I do know what it means. Do you want to take a guess? You want to say it again, Lea?
Is it some kind of
Honorifica-
sickness? All the long words.
Is it like you hit
Oh.
your head on the bus? It sounded like
Hit ahead of a bus. But
That's good
all the
guesses.
long words that I know has
Uh-huh.
something to do with a sickness. Like I think
Does
there's a
cor-
word that
does
has to do
corona-
with
how many letters does Corona even have in it?
5, I think.
Corona.
6.
6 letters.
But if you say coronavirus, that's 11 letters.
Or
But
Yeah.
there's the sickness that comes from breathing in volcanic ash, and it's really long.
Ooh.
I don't
Wow.
remember how to say it or what or how many letters it is.
How do you
if
know about that?
Got a very
A
tiny
book.
So if you got a very tiny volcano and ate it,
That would be kind of hard and maybe burn your mouth a bit.
I prefer Wonka chocolate over that. I think I'm going to go that way instead of volcanic ash.
You know, Lea
So,
and I
Lori, do
really.
you want to tell us what honorific could I can't even say it now.
It means worthy of getting honors, and it was used by Shakespeare. Do you know who Shakespeare is?
in
Yes.
Odyssey,
Yeah, a writer. Yeah, a playwright.
we listened to Odyssey.
Oh, that's
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Adventures in Odyssey.
That is so cool.
Stuff about Shakespeare, the old writer.
I know who he is. Do you know who we're talking about?
And
So is-
Odyssey.
Have you
there
listened
another
to
Shakespeare?
Adventures in Odyssey?
Oh, I think we might be thinking the wrong Shakespeare. We're thinking William Shakespeare.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay.
We listened to Adventures in Odyssey, and there's a guy named Shakespeare in it.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
That's a cool name.
But I don't know if he's a writer. Other than the games you made, what are some of your favorite games to play?
Well, I truly love Scrabble because I've always been a word game lover since I was a kid. But right now, the game I really like, I have two of them. I've been playing Ticket to Ride all the time. I love
That's
that
a
game.
really good game,
It's
We have
really
a
fun.
Ticket to Ride and Ticket to Ride First Journey.
which is like
Oh.
a Ticket to Ride Junior.
It's called Ticket to Ride Junior.
Oh, cool. Have you ever played the app?
No.
No.
No,
I thought
but
you were talking about a game called the app.
Oh, no, it's the Ticket to Ride app. But the other game I really, really like is Risk.
I've seen in the rules for
Uh-huh.
it shows the app on it.
Yeah, the app is fun when you want to play by yourself because you can play against players through the app.
So kind of like those video games on your phone where like other people are against you
Yeah, exactly.
on their own phones.
Exactly.
And then what was
the-
the other game?
The other game is called Risk. I don't know if you guys have ever played that. It's been around a long time. It's one
I've
of my
heard
son's
of it.
favorites.
But we've never played it. We don't have
Oh, it's
many
really
of
fun.
the old time games. We have more of the
I know you have a
games that
big
were
collection of
made.
the modern board games.
Mm-hmm. Have you played Camel Up?
No.
No. I don't
but-
even know what that game is.
I like that one. And I like Codenames. I see that one behind you, Jared. Do you guys like Codenames?
It is right there. We have
Yeah.
that one, then that one.
That one. We don't have a game called that one.
We have that code names and that code names. Then we have another code names and then another of that code names.
I know you said you don't have a lot of the older games and you mostly play like the modern board games that you have behind you, but have you ever played games like backgammon or rummy, like card games?
No.
I think we have Rummy, but we never played it.
I think you might like backgammon. You should ask to try that one
It sounds
because it's
like
really great. It has you.
sounds like backgammon, and I would like that if it was in Zelda. Because
Oh.
Oh, I love Zelda. Legends of Zelda themed backgammon. That could be fun. Have you guys ever played Clue?
Do we have it or are we
There's a
planning to
there's a
get it?
Legend of Zelda themed Clue game. You might like that. That's fun.
Leah really likes classic games.
I
Is there
love
an
classic
Uno?
games. Yeah.
Is there a Zelda themed Uno?
There's a
You
Mario.
know, I don't know, but there's a lot
I-
of Zelda themed games. You could probably get on the hunt for those.
I mean, Uno themed Zelda?
No.
But that would be weird.
You're just a bunch of Uno cards, just like.
Like, you're just an
mm.
you're just an Uno link. Like,
See, you
so
guys
silly.
can come work for us. You know how to remix already.
Yeah.
and then you would have like, oh, there's a sword, and it would be like a sword on a card.
But
I love it.
you said that you study up on Zelda.
I
Do you know
used
the
to.
monster? Do you know what the monster is called that looks like a lizard and swims in water?
I don't remember. I
It's
was
just-
thinking I was gonna preclude
a
that
l-
story with please don't test me on Zelda because I don't remember anything from years ago about it. But you could tell me and maybe it'll, spark my memory.
It's a Lizafoo.
Lizafoos.
Lizafoo.
That's
And
what it is?
actually, the skeleton ones, their tails can be used as boomerangs.
Very
Ooh.
cool.
Actually, their arms are always bent like this.
Oh, it's
so
their
if you
arms.
throw it, it's just like.
Like
and
a
I
boomerang?
always like
I
try
love it.
jumping away so that it doesn't hit me.
Yeah, we got
Boomerang's a cool word. How many
Wait.
letters are in boomerang?
Oh yes. 10, right?
That's a
Oh,
long
nine.
one.
Yeah, it's 9.
Boomerang. 9.
Jared,
That's a
the
long
last
one.
Yes.
Boomerang.
I'm gonna have to remember that for my
Boomerangy.
next word hustle.
Boomerangy is a word.
Peyton.
Kind
You know,
of.
to get in the spirit of this interview with you guys, I'm actually away in another state right now visiting my daughter at college. And so I didn't have any games to bring with me, except I brought one of our prototypes of Word Hustle.
Oh, that's the early
and so
one.
I played a solo version of Word Hustle before this to kind of calm my nerves a little bit and get in the spirit. And I wish I had known Boomerang before that. That's a good one.
Do you
I
guys
just
have any
tried
favorite?
itching my ear, and I was like,
How many letters
I
are in
can't get to my ear.
headphones?
Where's my ear?
How many letters are in headphones?
that's basically 2 words because head.
The good, but you know what? This conversation actually brings up something. The good thing about our
Is
game is
headphones
any
2
words
or
over
1
7
word?
points, you can't score more than 20 points. Well, unless you have one of the red letters in there.
Then you could, but you
Then
can
you could
not score over
25 or
25.
30 if you had 2 of them in there. But anyway,
Yeah.
you don't have to work super hard to make words over 7 letters. And that's what we did that purposely.
What's the most surprising or exciting thing that has happened through the design process and publishing process of making Word Hustle?
I think one of the most surprising things is how we were able to reach so many people in the game community during a pandemic. We kind of felt like we were alone in our homes designing through all of these months, and we didn't have any opportunity to go to conventions and to learn about the game design process or meet people in person. And the most surprising thing was how accessible all the people that are in this community are through forums and through Facebook pages. And Lori really helped. That was surprising to me. I think that was not maybe as surprising to Lori because she discovered it earlier than I did. But it was a big surprise to me, and it still is.
It was a surprise to me too about how helpful everyone was. And I'll just add to what Lea said. It's surprising how much you can do when you have help with other people. So when you're not trying to do something by yourself, but when you're part of a team or a community, you know, Lea and I were the team, and then also the game community helped us. When you have other people on your team, you can get a lot done and you can do amazing things. And I think we forget that sometimes in the world, we forget that we're all part of one big human team. And so it's really been nice for us to be a part of the game community team and do so many fun, cool new things.
It helps when you have more than just one person.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
it does.
It takes a village, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We end all of our interviews with some would you rathers. Can we ask you some?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Would you rather have 14 fingers or 16 toes?
Oh.
I think 14 fingers. I think fingers are very useful. And let's think all of the cool things you could do. I definitely would start to learn how to play the piano, right?
So each finger
And-
would have 7 fingers.
Well, I definitely want a thumb on each hand. So that's my only requirement. Then the rest of them can go on any hands if they want. Yeah. What do you think, Lea?
Well,
Fingers
if
or
they,
toes?
I mean, just to spice it up a little bit, I'm going to go with toes. How many toes do I get?
16.
16?
So you'd have 8 on each foot if you wanted them equal.
Yeah. Okay. So then, because I love the summer and I love the sand and I love the beach, and I'm thinking how good it would feel to have sand between more toes than we currently have. Like, how amazing.
But wait, if you had 16 toes and you could decide where they went,
Oh, yeah. Maybe
and
like
then you decided to only have your toes on one foot,
That would be-
Or maybe I have like 3 toes coming out from the back of my heel on each toe. Like, how cool would that look?
It'd be hard to find shoes.
I just said it would be kind of hard to find shoes.
but I was thinking.
I'll design shoes.
But with you, Lori, it would kind of be hard to find gloves.
Yeah.
Right.
But mittens exist, so we're good, right?
Yeah, right.
I can just
Okay.
use mittens.
But the part of the mitten that covers your fingers might get
But if it
exploded.
was,
You're right.
would you rather have 14 tiny heads, or
That's not the question. Did you-
but if it was and
I feel
have
like we'd be like a
16
great
toes,
god that way.
then I actually a few days ago found a giant Iron Man mask.
Oh,
It was
Cool.
like this big
Well, that would explain
and
it.
this tall.
that would be so cool. But you could fit all your 14 heads in that one, right?
Yeah,
14
but you
brains.
couldn't see
You
Oh,
would be really smart, though.
unless you would use two of your heads, like
yeah.
one head here and one head here.
My would
That-
you rather is, would you rather always have a strong wind in your face or always have to go through every minute of your life in a wet drizzle?
Oh, that's a no-brainer for me. I'll take
Did
the
you-
wind.
Oh, wind. Okay, wind.
Yeah, or wet drizzle. I hate to be cold and wet, so I'll like the wind. Plus, I'll feel like I'm going fast all the time, right? It's like I'm Captain America, just super fast. The
Also,
wind-
let's be real. We're women and we have nice long hair. So if we have like strong wind blowing our hair back at all times, it's
Or like
perfect.
Flash. Or you would be like Flash Girl.
Yeah,
Oh.
exactly. I'd be like, oh, the wind, the wind. It would definitely be more fun. It would be like riding a roller coaster all the time.
Our neighbor likes Flash, so she would like it too.
That's really cool.
yeah.
But I think I would also have the wind because maybe I could make some clothes that are wind powered or something, and they would make me run faster.
That's the best answer for sure. Yeah.
You are constantly
really
designing, Jared. I
powered.
love it.
I said, no, to make me run faster.
What would be weird if they were electric powered?
So you'd be
Then you
harnessing
could
the
fly
wind, right?
with electric stuff.
What?
You'd be harnessing the wind that was always in your face. Is that what you're saying?
Mhm.
Cool.
Smart use.
It's
Yeah.
very smart. Very smart.
Okay.
And I might learn how to make gloves to just like, to just be like, and just like,
yeah, you'll
direct the
absorb
wind.
all the wind and then you'll be able to like shoot it back out. You'll be like,
like windmill.
Oh no.
Sorry.
He seems okay.
Never one of
well,
those-
now you really know what it'll be like if the wind is constantly blowing at you.
Yeah, except that was a hand.
I know.
Thanks for spending some of your day to be on the show.
Thanks for having us. Thanks
Yeah.
for telling us about your games and all of that you're doing there. Yeah, this was super fun.
And
I
thank
hope
you
I
for
can-
inspiring us.
I hope I can play test my game with you guys.
We
Yeah,
would
let's
love
set
to.
that up for sure. We'll do a Zoom play test for sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be really fun.
It'd be
Yeah, I
really
think
fun.
so.
It'd be really fun for us too, because just speaking to you, you guys have sparked so many ideas for us. So
Mhm.
I think a playtest session would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I really hope you guys make word egg.
Oh, me too. Me too. I think that's one of the better ideas that we've had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Thanks for hanging out with us on this episode of Kid Talk.
Be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future episodes.
See you later. Bye.